A blessing stolen, the story of Jacob and Esau. In the heart of the ancient world, a tale unfolds as old as time itself. A story of rivalry, deception, and the enduring bonds of family. This is not just a simple tale, but a profound narrative that has been passed down through generations, echoing the struggles and triumphs of human nature. Genesis 27 transports us to the tents of Abraham's descendants, where twin brothers Jacob and Esau find themselves locked in a bitter struggle for their father's blessing. This struggle is not merely a physical one, but a deep, emotional and spiritual battle that tests their very souls. It is a story that resonates through millennia, reminding us of the complexities of human nature and the timeless battle between right and wrong. The choices made by Jacob and Esau reflect the eternal conflict within us all, between our desires and our morals. The story of Jacob and Esau is a story for the ages. It transcends time and culture, offering lessons that are as relevant today as they were in ancient times. It speaks to the very core of our being, forcing us to confront uncomfortable truths about ambition, betrayal, and the yearning for love and acceptance. These themes are universal, touching on the deepest aspects of the human experience. It is a story that challenges us to examine our own lives and the choices we make, urging us to seek reconciliation and understanding in a world often defined by conflict. Through the lens of Jacob and Esau's story, we are invited to reflect on our own relationships and the importance of forgiveness and empathy. The patriarch's twilight, setting the scene in ancient Canaan. Imagine a time before written history, where life revolved around the rhythms of nature, where every sunrise and sunset marked the passage of time. Our story takes place in the land of Canaan, a land of scorching deserts and verdant oases, a place of stark contrasts and breathtaking beauty. The sun beats down mercilessly, baking the earth a dusty brown, creating an unforgiving yet mesmerizing landscape. Goats and sheep graze on sparse vegetation, their bells tinkling softly in the still air, a serene sound in the midst of the harsh environment. In the midst of this harsh yet beautiful landscape, we find Isaac, a patriarch nearing the end of his days, reflecting on his life and legacy. His eyesight has dimmed with age, his once powerful frame now stooped and frail, a testament to the passage of time. He relies heavily on his senses of touch and smell, his mind sharp but his body failing, navigating his world through memory and intuition. His sons, Jacob and Esau, are as different as night and day, each embodying distinct paths and destinies. Garments of deceit, Rebekah's cunning plan. Esau, the elder twin, is a skilled hunter, his skin tanned and weathered from countless days spent under the open sky. He is a man of action, impulsive and strong. Jacob, on the other hand, is a quiet and introspective soul, content to stay close to home, tending to the flocks. He is his mother's favorite, his gentle nature a stark contrast to Esau's rough exterior. Rebekah, Isaac's wife, overhears her husband's plans to bestow his blessing on Esau. She fears for Jacob, knowing that tradition dictates the elder son should receive the father's favor. Driven by a mother's love and ambition, she hatches a daring plan to deceive her husband and secure the blessing for her younger son. A feast for the senses, Isaac's blind trust. The aroma of savory stew fills Isaac's tent, a tantalizing blend of herbs and spices. Isaac calls for Esau, his stomach rumbling with anticipation. He instructs his son to hunt some wild game to prepare a feast fit for a king. Esau, eager to please his father and secure his blessing, readily agrees and sets off into the wilderness. Meanwhile, Rebekah has been busy. She instructs Jacob to fetch 2 young goats from the flock. With deft hands, she prepares a dish that mimics Esau's usual fare. She then takes some of Esau's clothing, rough and smelling of the hunt, and drapes them over Jacob's smooth skin. Section 5. The deception unfolds. A son's treachery, a father's grief. In the annals of history, few tales are as heart-wrenching and filled with betrayal as this one.
Mother, are you sure this will work? What if father finds out?
Jacob, hesitant at first, eventually agrees to his mother's scheme. The weight of the deception weighs heavily on his shoulders, but he is driven by the promise of the blessing.
All right, I will do as you say, but I fear the consequences.
He approaches his father, his voice a poor imitation of his brother's gruff tones. The tension in the air is palpable.
Father, it is I, Esau, your firstborn. I have returned as you requested, I have done as you asked. The game is prepared for you. Please sit up and eat of my game, that you may bless me. The anticipation in his voice is unmistakable.
My son, how is it that you have found it so quickly? The speed of your return is surprising.
Because the Lord your God granted me success. His words are laced with a mix of truth and deceit.
Isaac, blinded by age and swayed by the familiar scent of Esau's clothing, is none the wiser. His senses deceive him.
Come near that I may feel you, my son, to know whether you are really my son Esau or not. His hands reach out, seeking confirmation.
He blesses Jacob, unaware that he is bestowing his favor on the wrong son. The gravity of the moment is immense.
See, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field that the Lord has blessed. The scent brings back memories of the past. May God give you of the dew of heaven and of the fatness of the earth and plenty of grain and wine. The words of blessing flow with a sense of finality. Let people serve you and nations bow down to you. The magnitude of the blessing is profound. Be Lord over your brothers, and may your mother's sons bow down to you. The hierarchy is established with these words: Cursed be everyone who curses you, and blessed be everyone who blesses you. The duality of the blessing and curse is stark.
Moments later, Esau returns, his face flushed with exertion, his arms laden with the spoils of the hunt. He is unaware of the deception that has taken place.
Father, rise and eat of your son's game, that you may bless me. His voice is filled with hope and expectation.
He proudly presents his father with a feast, only to be met with stunned silence. The realization begins to dawn. The truth dawns on him with the force of a physical blow. The betrayal is almost too much to bear.
What has happened? His voice trembles with confusion and hurt. Who was it then that hunted game and brought it to you, so that you blessed him before I came? The questions come in a rush.
He has been deceived, robbed of his birthright by his own brother. The weight of the betrayal is crushing. His cries of anguish echo through the camp. The pain is palpable.
Bless me, even me also, O my father. The desperation in his voice is heart-wrenching.
But Isaac could only tremble and say, the confusion and sorrow are evident in his trembling form.
Your brother came deceitfully and has taken away your blessing. The words are filled with regret and sorrow.
Is he not rightly named Jacob? The name itself now carries the weight of deceit, for he has cheated me these 2 times. The bitterness in his voice is unmistakable. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he has taken away my blessing. The full extent of the betrayal is laid bare.
Section 6, Esau's anguish, the weight of a lost blessing. Isaac, realizing the extent of the deception, is overcome with grief and despair. He had been tricked, manipulated by the 2 people he loved most. The weight of his error settles upon him like a shroud. He had bestowed his blessing, a blessing that could not be undone. Esau's rage knows no bounds. He vows to kill Jacob, his heart filled with bitterness and resentment. Rebekah, fearing for her younger son's life, urges Jacob to flee. She promises to send for him once Esau's anger has subsided, and so Jacob, burdened by the weight of his deception, flees into the unknown. Section 7, the price of deception, exile and reconciliation. Years pass. Jacob, seeking refuge with his uncle Laban, endures his own share of trials and tribulations. He falls in love, marries, and fathers a large family. Yet the memory of his betrayal continues to haunt him, casting a long shadow over his newfound happiness. Meanwhile, Esau, consumed by his anger, eventually finds peace. He marries, raises a family, and becomes a wealthy and powerful man. He learns to forgive, if not forget, the treachery that robbed him of his birthright. Section 8 echoes through time. The legacy of Jacob and Esau. The story of Jacob and Esau is not just a story about 2 brothers, but a story about the enduring power of family, both its blessings and its curses. It is a story about the choices we make and the consequences that follow, sometimes for generations to come. The rivalry between Jacob and Esau would shape the destiny of their descendants, leading to centuries of conflict and reconciliation. It is a story that continues to resonate today, reminding us that the past is never truly past, but rather a living presence that shapes our present and our future. Section 9, Lessons from the Ancient World, the Power of Choice and Forgiveness. The story of Jacob and Esau offers valuable lessons for us all. It teaches us that our choices have consequences, not only for ourselves but also for those around us. It reminds us that forgiveness, though difficult, is essential for healing and moving forward. Most importantly, it highlights the importance of family, both the joys and the challenges that come with these complex relationships. It is a story that speaks to the very core of what it means to be human, to love, to hurt, to forgive, and to ultimately find redemption. Section 10. Join the journey. Explore more stories from the past. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the world of the Bible. If you enjoyed this exploration of Genesis 27, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more fascinating stories from the ancient world. Let's continue to uncover the mysteries and lessons of the past together. Together, let's delve deeper into the timeless tales that have shaped our world. Subscribe now and become part of our growing community of history enthusiasts. Until next time, keep exploring